she will never tell you she loves you. Not in words, not at first. It leaks through her actions, slow, unguarded, impossible to fake. When a woman feels something real, her defenses start to shake. She becomes both brave and afraid. She pulls closer, then retreats, testing if you notice the difference. You think love means romance. She feels love as risk. Risk of surrendering her control to a man who could destroy her peace. That is why her signs are quiet. The glance that lingers 1 second too long. The message she deletes before sending. The way her mood changes when you talk to another woman. Real affection never announces itself. It hides, waiting for the man who can read silence. If you rush, you'll lose her truth. If you stay still, you'll see everything. Watch carefully. Her love is not loud. It's exposed only to the man who earns her trust. Sign 1, the unspoken look. When was the last time you looked at her without needing anything? Not for validation, not for proof, just to see what was real. Most men never do. They watch with hunger, not awareness. They stare at her body but never notice her eyes. It's in those eyes that the truth hides. You'll see the tension she doesn't speak, the flicker when she's near you, the restraint when she tries to act indifferent. That's not just attraction, that's exposure. You'll catch it in quiet rooms, after the argument, in the hallway when she passes you but doesn't speak. That one look holds everything she's trying to bury. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The ancients knew what most men forget. Perception is mastery. The warrior once studied his enemy's eyes before battle. He read fear, pride, doubt. Today, your battle is different, but the eyes still tell the story. She's testing if you can see through the noise. When you need her to confess, you lose position. When you let her silence breathe, she reveals everything. Love hides in restraint, not display. It's the pause before words that means more than the words themselves. The next time she looks at you and looks away, hold still. Don't chase the glance. Don't break it with reaction. Control your pulse, not her attention. Train your stillness. Ask yourself, are you seeing her truth or your need? Because every man faces this moment, alone in the quiet. The unspoken look that burns longer than touch. And if you read it right, it changes how you move. Stay alert. What comes next will expose whether you can keep your center when her silence starts to speak. Sign 2, the fear behind her calm. What if her calm isn't peace at all? What if it's fear disguised as control? You see her composed face, steady tone, polite distance. You think she's unaffected, but you don't see the nights she replays your words in silence. You don't see her thumb hover over your name, then stop. Men often mistake calm for indifference. It's not. Sometimes it's armor built from too many disappointments. She's learned that emotion gets used against her, so she hides it behind quiet eyes and careful movements. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." But freedom costs the courage to feel without fear. Most women aren't free in that way anymore. The world taught them to hold back, to test before trusting. The ancients faced storms with open eyes. They didn't deny fear, they mastered it. Today, her calm is that storm contained. Every measured breath is her defense against being seen too clearly. If you're impatient, you'll call it coldness. If you're grounded, you'll see the tremor beneath her control. It's not your job to fix it. It's your test to remain steady when she hides behind composure. A man who reacts feeds her fear. A man who observes drains its power. Your stillness becomes her mirror, and in time she'll either meet your calm with truth or disappear into her own walls. Hold your center. Ask yourself, are you drawn to her peace or to the mystery of her restraint? Because behind that calm lies everything she's too proud to say. The fear of losing herself to something real. The risk of feeling again. And if you can read that, you're already seeing more than she intended you to. Stay focused. The next moment will show whether she trusts your strength or tests your limits. Sign 3, the pull and retreat. Why does she pull you close then vanish? Why does her warmth fade the moment you start to believe it's real? You think she's playing games. She's not. She's protecting herself from the chaos she feels when she lets you in too far. That pull is instinct. That retreat is fear. Together they create the rhythm of a woman torn between desire and control. You see it in the way she texts, then disappears for hours. In how she leans toward you, then mentions another man just to watch your reaction. It's confusion wrapped in self-defense. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The ancient understood something modern men forget. You can't force someone to stay when their fear is still louder than their feeling. The Stoic didn't chase emotion, he studied it. He learned to hold steady when others shifted. You must do the same. When she pulls back, don't reach out in panic. Don't try to fill the silence. Let her absence speak for her. A grounded man doesn't chase retreat. He observes it, learns from it, and remains unmoved. Because her retreat isn't rejection, it's revelation. It shows how deeply you reached her core. Stay centered. Let her come and go without losing your ground. Train your restraint. Ask yourself, do you seek connection or control? Because this is where most men fail. They break the moment she steps away. But if you stay still long enough, her fear will collapse under its own weight. And when she returns, it won't be for validation. It'll be because your calm reminded her of safety. Stay ready. The next sign will show how deep her silence truly runs. Sign 4, the silent jealousy. Have you ever noticed how her tone changes when another woman's name comes up? How her calm fades for just a second, then returns sharper than before? That's not anger. That's silent jealousy, the kind she'll never admit. She'll keep her posture, her smile, her poise. But her eyes betray her. They narrow, measure, retreat. She'll laugh at the story, but her body stiffens at every detail. Most men miss it. They think jealousy only shows through argument or questions. But real jealousy hides. It watches. It calculates. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." A Stoic man knows this. He doesn't react to her envy. He studies it. In ancient times, a warrior didn't fear an enemy's weapon. He watched their eyes, their hesitation before the strike. That told him everything. In the same way, her silence tells you what her words won't. Jealousy means investment, but it's also a test of your composure. If you feed it, it grows. If you ignore it, it reveals. She wants to see if you'll lose your balance under her tension. She wants to know if your attention is discipline or impulse. A weak man explains himself. A grounded man lets truth speak for him. Control your reaction. Ask yourself, are you protecting your peace or proving your worth? Because her silent jealousy isn't about the other woman. It's about you, your energy, your direction. If you hold steady, she'll see it. And when she realizes she can't shake you, her respect deepens. Stay still. The next sign will show if her quiet desire turns into trust or fades into distance. Sign 5, the small acts of care. When was the last time you noticed what she did when no one was watching? Not the grand gestures, not the gifts, but the small things she thought you'd never see. She remembers how you take your coffee. She checks if you made it home safe, but never texts to say it. She straightens your collar before you walk out, pretending it means nothing. Those are not random acts. They are fragments of quiet affection. Men look for declarations. Women reveal through consistency. The care she hides in small actions says more than any confession could. Seneca wrote, "Well-being is realized by small steps, but it is no small thing." The ancients knew that love, like strength, is built in silence. One disciplined act at a time. A Stoic man doesn't overlook those moments. He sees them for what they are, tests of attention. Because she won't say she cares until she knows you see it. Not with words, but with awareness. If you ignore her small gestures, she'll stop making them. If you acknowledge them with calm, she'll reveal more of herself. That's how trust grows. Not through emotion, but through presence. You must notice without clinging, receive without boasting. Let her care exist without needing reward. Train your awareness. Ask yourself, do you see her effort or only what serves your ego? Because every quiet gesture is a mirror. It reflects what kind of man you are when no one's performing. If you stay mindful, her small acts become the language between you. And in that language, she's already told you everything. Stay aware. The next sign will show how her restraint turns into surrender when she feels truly seen. Sign 6, the surrender she hides. Have you ever seen her drop her guard for a second? Not in passion, but in peace. That one moment when she stops performing, when her breath softens and her body forgets to defend itself. That's surrender, and she hides it, because surrender for her is risk. It means she's allowing someone else to hold what she's used to protecting alone. Most men mistake surrender for weakness. It's not. It's trust at its highest point, and she'll only show it to a man who can handle it without control or ego. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The ancients understood what few men today grasp. You can't receive her surrender until you've mastered your own impulses. If you rush it, you break it. If you try to own it, she'll vanish. Her surrender appears in details. The way she stops arguing and just looks at you. The silence after she confesses something she never told anyone. The way her voice drops when she finally feels safe. That's not submission. That's trust earned through composure. She's watching how you handle her softness. If you tense, she retreats. If you stay calm, she opens further. Hold your frame. Ask yourself, do you crave her surrender or do you deserve it? Because she hides it for a reason. It's the final test, a measure of your discipline, your stillness, your depth. If you fail, she hardens again and never looks back. If you pass, she gives you something no words can buy. Stay disciplined. The next moment will show if her silence becomes devotion or distance. Sign 7. The moment she stops pretending. Have you ever felt the air change between you? The moment her tone shifts, her face softens, and every mask she wore quietly falls away. That's the moment she stops pretending. It doesn't happen with words. It happens in the pause after them, when she stops performing strength and finally lets the truth breathe. She's not trying to impress you anymore. She's just there, real, unguarded. You'll notice it in her voice. It loses polish and becomes raw. You'll see it in her eyes, no longer searching for your reaction. She's done testing. She's done hiding. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That's what this moment is. Truth revealed through exhaustion. A Stoic man understands that honesty doesn't always come from courage. Sometimes it comes from finally feeling safe. You can't force this moment. You can only earn it. It appears when your calm outweighs her doubt. When she realizes you don't need her to be anything but herself. This is where her guard ends and your test begins. If you meet her honesty with control, you keep her trust. If you flinch, judge or boast, you destroy it instantly. Hold steady. Let the truth sit in the space between you. Train your presence. Ask yourself, are you ready to see her as she truly is, or only as you imagined her? Because this is the final sign. The point where attraction ends and truth begins. If you're strong enough to handle her reality, she'll never need to pretend again. Stay centered. The next chapter isn't about her. It's about what kind of man you choose to be now. You've just seen what most men never notice. Love doesn't always speak. Sometimes it hides, testing the eyes that are patient enough to see it. If you watched closely, you learned how to read the silence, the pauses, the glances that tell more than words ever could. You learned that a woman's truth isn't shouted, it's shown. And the man who sees it without needing to control it earns something rare, her trust. I appreciate you for staying till the end. This channel isn't about tricks or games. It's about building the kind of awareness that makes you calm in chaos and steady in connection. If this message hits somewhere real, take a second to subscribe and like the video. Not for numbers, but to keep growing with men who think like you. And if something in this resonated, share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help another man see what he's been missing. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.